In 2022, I decided to speedrun Ratchet and Clank after getting a PS3 for Christmas. As a kid, I spent hundreds of hours playing this game, so I thought, why not learn the speedrun? I already ran the Spyro trilogy at the time, and fast forward to 2024, and after a 2-year break, I'm coming back to the game, and wow, things have changed. This video is about my journey from being a complete newbie to rediscovering the game years later, and this is how my love for Ratchet and Clank has grown to a point where I want to be the best. Speedrunning Ratchet and Clank was a completely new challenge for me. At the time, I was still fresh to speedrunning, but I'd already fallen in love with the Spyro series and was setting some decent times across the trilogy. I wasn't very good at first though. Spoiler, I'm still not good. I decided to start with any percent. This category seemed to be the easiest entry point for me, and I was a big fan of Zem92, a PlayStation speedrun that I look up to and still a figurehead of the Ratchet community. Instead of using a dedicated guide, which in hindsight would have been smarter, I dove right in learning from Zem's run. Things were going smoothly until I hit the 7th planet Umbris. This is where my progress slammed to a halt. Umbris is a notoriously tough level. At the time, I thought the only way to beat it was to master ILJs. This technique requires you to flutter between R1 and R2 while tapping left and right on the D-pad to build momentum. It's all about timing and precision. I spent an entire month practicing ILJs, flying around the stage until I was consistent enough to move on. Looking back, it was frustrating, but the grind was incredibly rewarding, and it allowed me to complete the level faster than I've ever thought possible. After Umbris, I hit 2 more Roblox, Battalia and Auxon 1. Battalia was manageable until I had to learn an outdated trick called Battalia SIs. This involves scaling a mountain and gliding on the grind rails to reach the gas bar infobot. The trick was tough, but I stuck with it. It was one of those moments where I surprised myself by actually hitting it in runs. And even though it was painful, it felt amazing when I finally got through it. Auxon 1, on the other hand, was a nightmare. It was the first and only time you play as Clank by himself, and I had to learn very tricky skips. Tree clip, this trick involves punching into a tree, lining up Clank's back bolt with a specific point on the tree, then holding X and up and honestly just pray. Then the other is the Clank proxy. I spent an absurd amount of time practicing this, doing it over and over until it was consistent. Even though it was tedious at the time, it paid off in the long run. The final planets, or Gemlik Base, Altanus, Core 2, Drexfleet, and Velen 2 brought even more advanced tricks from thruster pack movement to PDA side flips and all the PDA tech. These levels really tested my patience and skill. Thankfully, chatting with the very skilled runner named The Rixar through his Twitch chat helped me refine those techniques. Without his guidance, I likely would not have gotten consistent with PDA tech, and that alone was a game changer. Eventually, I completed a run with a 56-minute time, which landed me in the 69th place on the leaderboard. At the time, I didn't think I could push it much further, so I decided to shift my focus back to the Spyro series, which I recently started running again because I obtained the PS2. It was a good opportunity to take a break from Ratchet. Now let's talk about 2024. Coming back to Ratchet and Clank 80% after 2 years felt surreal. In my experience, revisiting a speedrun is rarely easier, but this time, it was. I could see how much I'd grown as a speedrunner as well. The community had discovered new tricks that replaced the old frustrating ones, making the game feel more natural and easier to jump back into. And with a solid fundamentals, I was ready to pick up where I left off. After relearning the 80% category through Flair's beginner tutorial, I got to work grinding out my time. My personal best jumped from a 56.40 to a small improvement of a 56.14, but then I had a run I didn't expect. One that saved a bit over 16 minutes, landing a 40.32. This was thanks to a better execution, more consistent tricks, and stronger understanding of the round. Funnily enough, no joke, as I was making this video, on my Twitch I hit a 38.02, which saved about over a minute of my 39, and honestly I was just surprised I got this run at all. Oh, let's fucking go, dude. Oh, I have so much time saved. I died in drag. Oh, what is this run? Nice, we missed the 37 because I missed the button press. This is a fat PB. If you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing, as well as leaving a comment on how I can improve. If you want to catch me live on my Twitch, please drop a follow. Also, YouTube might think you like this video next.